Wow, that was a beautiful cold open there, Nick. There was a tear in my eye.
I Yeah, I'm trying to win you over, Rob, with videos like that. Which, by the way, at some point we're going to be shooting this. We're going to be talking about our greatest memories of, the New England Patriots and the Dallas Cowboys. Talking about our favorite moments. In my case, not necessarily favorite moments, most impactful moments. I'll say that. Most impactful moments for the Dallas Cowboys.
Fair enough.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's looking at that video, it's crazy how much the NFL, I mean, it's been 25 years, but it's still crazy how much the NFL has changed. That game was literally played on a carpet where they were all wearing sneakers for the most part, because it was the AstroTurf, right? That's crazy. John Madden, as that drive was about to start, John Madden, that's how different the NFL was then, said there was still a minute and change. The Pats had they had plenty of time by modern NFL standards. And John Madden goes, "Oh, they need to play for overtime here. It's too risky."
Need the ball.
John Madden was like, "It's smarter to play for overtime where the coin flip will decide it than to try to drive 60 yards or whatever it was. No, not even 30 something yards or whatever it is to kick a field goal."
Well, the only way to get the ball down the field, Rob, is to pass it. And three things can happen on a pass. Okay, it could be an incomplete, it could be an interception, or a completion. Two of them, Rob, are bad.
That's
old school philosophy.
Bad. You are right on that. Yeah. So I adjusted my lighting a little bit because I realized as I shifted, I got a little dark there. But yeah, two of them are bad. Very old school philosophy. But the drive that Tom Brady, as a rookie, put on right there with those quick, that was offensive coordinator Charlie Weiss now, way back when. Those quick outs, quick slants, quick ball movement. That's just what the NFL is now. Yeah. And that was considered a masterstroke, brilliant, genius drive back then. Now it'd be considered of course that's what happened.
Right. They're playing soft, just cut them up all the way down the field.
Yeah. To use an NFL, a WWE analogy, that's like Tom Brady there with Shawn Michaels hitting the super kick back when it was the finisher, and now everyone hits the super kick and it doesn't do anything, but it looks cool.
Of course, yeah. But so yeah, we've got big Superbowl preview going on. Obviously, Rob's going to be giddy, excited. His team is on the main stage over there with the Seattle Seahawks. And Rob, clearly you got to be excited about that, right?
Yeah, we weren't supposed to be here this quick, this early. Yes, we had an easy schedule, but we had a brand new coaching staff, a second-year starting quarterback having learned his second brand new offense. Although, was there an offense to actually learn last year? We don't really know. But having to actually learn professional offense, deal with it. And then they've gotten some luck in the playoffs. I won't deny that. But they haven't had rollover easy outs. They easily could have lost any of the games that they've played. Mm-hmm. They dug deep, and now we're here. And now it's a 50-50 shot. I think any sports fan, any NFL fan would take those odds.
To win the championship, obviously they would take those odds. And so me and Rob, we're going to break down the three keys to the game. Rob's going to take care of the Patriots, what they need to do to win. And then I'm going to be the devil's advocate to Rob and the Patriots. And I'll take on the Seahawks, saying what they got to do to win. And we're going to break it down and then give our final predictions and also look at where the point standing is. And I got to tell you, someone came out of nowhere, Rob. Someone came out of nowhere and overtook you two. Yeah.
Was it Stefan?
It was Deshaun, but we'll break that down. I'll show you what happened.
That's acceptable.
He's taken a late lead with the conference, the way the point system works. Took a late lead, and now the Patriots, I would imagine he's going to pick the Seahawks. You can overtake them with the New England win.
Yeah.
But of course,
obviously both Ryan and myself, we all know who we're picking. You'll hear it officially later, but come on.
Yeah. And one thing's for sure, you guys would probably trade winning a weird little podcast contest without any prize for a New England Super Bowl. So I don't even think you guys care that much about it compared to what. But Deshaun's got pride points on the line, so he's going to give it his best go picking the Super Bowl. But before we get into that, we got some NFL news to break down. We're just going to quickly try to hit those before we get into the preview, and then we'll kick right off into the preview. But Rob, you ready for some news?
Let's do some news.
This is Eastside News.
Yes, we've got some hires. Rob pointed out 3 teams that did not have a coach yet last week when we brought up the news. And now those 3 teams, it looks like those positions are filled, quote unquote, with the Raiders right now. That one's a little weird because they don't want to announce anything for obvious reasons. But let's start off with the Arizona Cardinals because they ended up hiring Mike LaFleur, that is the other LaFleur brother, to the Green Bay Packers head coach right over there. And he ends up getting a head coaching job too. I guess their biggest stress is going to be offense. And I think the LaFleur brothers both are under the Shanahan tree, if I remember correctly, or it could be, well, they're both the same tree. Yeah. It's Shanahan and Sean McVay. I couldn't remember his name for a second there. Sean McVay tree.
I was going to say Mother LaFleur might have a claim for it being her tree, but NFL wise.
NFL wise, Rob, come on, we're not talking family, but clearly both smart minds ended up getting a head coaching job. He's going over to the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals trying to work out how to get Kyler Murray back. Maybe that, or maybe they don't. They're trying to move on from Kyler Murray, and they just need a offensive minded coach to take on a new quarterback. I don't know their quarterback situation,
right?
But and they're trying to address the offense.
When you look at Mike LaFleur as an offensive coordinator, he was the Rams OC this year. So one, that's the magic touch of Sean McVay. It's not quite as crazy as it was 5 years ago, where if you had a cup of coffee with him or you walked past him on the same side of the street, you were given a head coaching job. But he's still innovative. And then that Rams offense is you look at the numbers that Matt Stafford put up. I feel like just because of where the Cardinals are as an organization, the interview process was mostly him holding up Matt Stafford's stats this year at his advanced geriatric NFL age, and then the Cardinals pitching Mike LaFleur for the job.
Yeah, and I think addressing offense is going to be nice. It's just a modern style of offense that they're going to bring on for the Arizona Cardinals, and that's all it really is now. Like, my question is with this whole Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay tree is if they take over the entire NFL, sooner or later, this offensive style of motion, play action, and keeping the defense on their toes, sooner or later, it's going to catch up with them. And these defenses are going to start figuring it out, which I guess they slowly have. But if the entire NFL's run that way, I mean, I'm just wondering, sooner or later, this philosophy is going to get caught up with them, right?
So you're saying, fresh off of Bill Belichick being denied his rightful place in the hall, it's time for him to come back because only he can destroy these offenses, looking at 13-3 Super Bowl victory over the Rams. And he can grab another ring to rule them all and give a giant FU to the voting committee. I'm down.
Man, I'll tell you what, one thing about Bill Belichick is you got to think he wants to get back to the NFL now, right? Especially after that.
He's so spiteful. Of course he does.
As he should be. And I know a lot of people that don't like the New England Patriots, don't like Bill Belichick, don't like Tom Brady, hate the whole bunch, and they're upset.
Hate us because they ain't us.
Yeah, but they're upset about the Bill Belichick not making it to the Hall of Fame. A lot of people are agreeing on this one. I think it's like 99% of America goes, what are we doing? Get Bill Belichick into the Hall of Fame. So,
yeah,
it's definitely spurring a lot of debate going in there. So yeah, that's the Arizona Cardinals. I really don't have much to say. I think it's a good hire, right?
It's the hire they needed to make. It's the hire they needed to make. You could argue that maybe if they could have brought someone like Todd Monken over, who also has a modern offensive take, but has more coaching experience, could possibly lend a more steady hand to a dumpster fire of an organization that is the Cardinals recently, that would be good. But if you're Mike LaFleur, you're getting a new quarterback. You get a chance to build from scratch and then find someone good to run that defense and, compete in the toughest division in the NFL at the moment.
It's a weird job for him to take, don't you think? It's a really weird job to take.
There's only 32 of them, right? So it's hard to say no.
Yeah, but I feel like he could have got a job next year. I mean, that Rams offense, I just don't picture it slowing down anytime soon. Unless Stafford leaves or something like that. But outside of that, I just don't know why he took this opportunity. Honestly, with these last three teams, I don't know why any of these coaches would take this opportunity because I just don't think it's going to suit well for him. Speaking of Todd Monken, though, you mentioned him and the Raiders ended up signing him over there, which the Raiders
Browns.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I'm sorry. Man, I'm all over the map. Too many coach hires. Sorry. Todd Monken ends up going over to the Cleveland Browns because they're needing. Yeah, Todd Monken ends up. Yeah, there's the coaching carousel has been crazy, but Todd Monken ended up heading over to the Cleveland Browns, which they're saying they need an offensive style coach just to get that geared up and ready to go. They ended up hiring a guy like Todd Monken. Before I get into the backstory of it, Rob, overall, do you think this is a good hire for the Cleveland Browns, or do you think they just found something just to get by on this one?
No, I think this was a bad hire. You had Jim Schwartz in the building, who's orchestrated technically the Texans were the best defense, but my goodness, that Browns defense, what he's able to do there, what he's done. I mean, you give him, and he's got previous head coaching experience in another formerly dumpster fire organization in Detroit, right? So he wanted the job. He was in the building. Ownership went out and said they didn't want to lose him. Rumors and reports are that they were telling other head coaching candidates that if hired, we already have your DC. We're keeping him in the building. And then they go with Monken instead. I would have kept Schwartz, kept that defense happy, and then go ahead. And then I would have said, hey, you really want to do something? Go throw like $10 million at Mike McDaniel for a year. Just a 1-year deal, just to get things going. Granted, would McDaniel want to go to Cleveland when he could go hang out in Los Angeles? Probably not. But instead now you bring in Monken, and now your whole defense is pissed off. Their guy's gone. He's not officially gone, but reports are that Schwartz stormed out of the building, said he's done. And he doesn't, he's not someone he doesn't need to stick around. He's already got the resume. He can quit, I guess, probably in theory, because he'd still be under contract. A team would have to give some sort of compensation to Cleveland. But it's not like it'd be head coaching compensation, or he could just sit out the year and then get his pick of coordinator, or potentially get a head coaching job next year. But hey, University of Texas, bring him in as an analyst. Why not? Yeah, I think this was Cleveland continuing to Cleveland. Nothing against Todd Monken, but also that Baltimore Ravens offense was not the Baltimore Ravens offense of old this last year. Yes, we had a injured Lamar for a chunk of it, but I don't know what Cleveland's doing here, besides for some reason they didn't want to give the guy that wanted the job, that was qualified the job, so someone else said yes. His only head coaching experience is with Southern Miss in college from 2013 to 2015. He's otherwise just been pretty much an offensive coordinator at all his different stops. And then he was with the Ravens the last 3 years. So, yeah, he did well. I think they look at what Lamar could do when healthy in his offense, and they say, hey, well, we got Shadur Sanders. You could do that with Shadur, right? And I think that's why they got the job. But you could also bring in an offensive coordinator that can do that and keep your ship going in the right direction by hiring Shwartz.
Yeah. Well, the Todd Monken hire, I 100%, I get their logic. I don't agree with it. I'm right there with you. I don't think this is a good hire, but their logic is simply this, that when he took Lamar Jackson in, his game plan was very simple. He turned Lamar Jackson into a running back until Lamar Jackson started elevating his passing game. And I think that's going to be the same game plan. Yeah, now it's really good. So I think that's going to be the same game plan over for Shadur Sanders, is where you're just going to rely on his legs primarily and then try to figure out everything else out later and slowly evolve his game later on down the road. And I do see that as something that could potentially happen. I think Shadur Sanders, if he actually got some structure and was coached a little bit better, I don't think he ever had a real severe quarterback's coach that can end up doing improving his game just at the position. He's just really good at thinking on the fly and making quick decisions when he's in trouble. That's the hardest part of the position. The structure is the part that he needs to get figured out. And once he gets that figured out, I think he'll be a really good player. And maybe Munchkin is a guy that's going to help him get there.
But here's my thing, though. And Shadur is bigger and stronger than I am, for sure. In college, he never had any linemen, so we always had to run. But he was running against Group of 5 teams, and then he was running against Big 12 teams. He wasn't even competing with the SEC regularly or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
In the NFL, they need to fix their line for sure. But Sanders he's not built like he's strong, but he's still got a relatively thin frame. And if you want to rely, he's not built like Lamar. He's not built like a Ben Roethlisberger. And if you want to turn him loose on his feet, he's just going to end up, how many hits is he going to take before he suffers that injury where he's out? I'm happy to be wrong. I'd love to see Shadur Sanders truly become a real Pro Bowl player next year. I think that would be great for the league. That would, in a lot of ways, he could make the league all the money that they thought they could make with Tim Tebow. If Tebow had actually done more than just his random season in Denver, they could make 10 times that with Shadur.
Yeah, they need to do a 30 for 30 on that random season. It's one of the most entertaining, weird seasons of all time, that Tim Tebow year. Yeah, it's something that they're going to have to work on. And I think it is a tea leaf that's showing that they are going to go with Shadur Sanders as their future, which I don't think is a bad thing. So no. I think that part's really good. Back to the Shwartz thing, though. So Shwartz is like a great defensive coordinator, and everywhere he's touched, he's been a fantastic defensive coordinator every single time. Plays real, he just has a beautiful scheme. He knows how to get the most out of his players and just has snot-nosed defenses out there. And then when the owners decided to do this interview process, they decided to interview Shwartz for the position, and Shwartz clearly was thinking he's like their number one heading into this, right? He even got to the second interview process.
Every thought that's what it was. It was going to be his job.
Yeah, you're leading him on, and you give him a second interview process. You go up there. He's feeling pretty confident. He's going to get this job. And in the meantime, you're going behind his back, telling all the other candidates, hey, if we hire you, we don't need to really worry about defense. Why? We got Shwartz. Shwartz is in our back pocket as the defensive coordinator. And then they just expect him to go, yeah, okay, I'm cool with that. Whatever. If you know anything about Shwartz, the guy is a hothead out there. You think he was going to take this news well and just accept it? And you nailed it, Rob. He's got leverage. He's got plenty of leverage. He can just say, screw this, I'm out. I can get a defensive coordinator job next year anywhere. I'm Jim Schwartz. I'm a great defensive coordinator. So I don't really need you, Cleveland. I can get anybody that I want out there. And I guess the Cleveland Browns didn't really think this one through, because now he's threatening to leave. And I think he will. I'm pretty confident. If I had a Kalshi score, I would go ahead and put a couple dollars on him leaving. And I would say the percentages are pretty high. This is just a bizarre, this is very Jerry-esque kind of stuff that the Cleveland Browns are doing. And I think they're shooting themselves in the foot big time over there, because I think they're going to lose their defensive coordinator and set now their new head coach up for massive, massive failure in this season.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to end well for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah. Quote from Todd Monken earlier today. Jim Schwartz is an outstanding DC, but it's inappropriate to comment on his status.
It's done. It's done. He's leaving. There's no way he's
Schwartz is still under contract, so
you just retire.
Or he could sit a year out till he could fight the fight.
It's very Cleveland Browns.
It really is. It really is. Also, quick flashback to Tim Tebow. Do you remember who Tim Tebow's head coach was in that magical year in Denver?
The magical year, you're going to get this wrong. It's Fox. Fox was the magical year. He was the guy that drafted him, though. I know who you're talking about.
Oh, that McDaniels drafted him, but it wasn't his rookie year that he made that run?
No, it was his sophomore year. John Fox was the guy that had to put up with Tim Tebow, because I remember he hated talking about Tim Tebow. He's a defensive-minded guy. He didn't want to start Tim Tebow. He kept on telling people.
I thought Fox benched him.
He did, or he didn't want him. He did not want him. I remember this story so well. I could go through all 11 games.
I believe you. I'm surprised I'm off by that. You're right. It was John Fox.
Because he didn't.
Did Fox take over like mid-season for them? Because he was on staff.
No. McDaniel got fired his rookie year. He started the season hot. He was like 6-1, beat Bill Belichick, celebrated beating Bill Belichick, and then ever since
as you should, he's your boss. And then they crashed out.
They crashed big time. The Belichick curse, if you will. And then John Fox ended up taking over and he did not like Tim Tebow. Not a big fan of Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow's not a quarterback. Not an NFL quarterback.
It was so funny, though, because he ended up benching Kyle Orton because of the pressure that the fans were giving him. Kyle Orton went 1-4, so he's like, fine, I'll just put Tim Tebow in. I'll show you guys. He's going to end up losing, and then I'm done.
And I don't think he lost I think he won out pretty much until the playoffs, right?
Pretty much. I think he went 7-1 heading into the playoffs and then won a playoff game. So John Fox had to deal with this. Like, I was the one that didn't want him. And I'm telling you, you could write a 30 for 30. It's one of the best, most entertaining stories out there in the media. I mean, it made Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless was, he was just, what was that? First Take was like just a show. And then all of a sudden the Tim Tebow mania happened and everyone was watching First Take, including me. I was a big fan of that show. Just seeing the reaction of Tim Tebow not doing well. And then, you're getting my flashbacks. I just love that.
Oh, no. But then John Fox survives all that, gets Peyton Manning, and then gets told, oh, you weren't quite good enough with Peyton, and they let you go. And then you get to see Gary Kubiak win the Super Bowl with Peyton next year.
The next year.
Sort of with Peyton, because Peyton didn't get them to the Super Bowl.
No, but Gary Kubiak did. I don't know. Got them as far as they could. But yeah, so back to the Cleveland Browns situation. It is just a terrible dumpster fire. I love it when organizations do stuff like this because it makes me feel a little bit better as a Cowboy fan. Like, we're bad, but that was awful what they did to Schwartz. And Good luck trying to figure that one out, Cleveland, because I think you're going through another 5 years of just awful play because of just stupid decisions like this.
Unless there's one way to break the Cleveland curse. One, Shedeur Sanders just goes off this year and becomes what we thought he was going to be. But I think if that's going to happen, it's going to probably happen outside of Cleveland. The second option, the Browns stink it up. Todd Monken leads them to a massive 1-3 wins. The Browns get the first pick in the draft. If there was ever a quarterback to break the Cleveland quarterback curse, his last name would be Manning. And Todd Monken has shown what he can do with a running quarterback with Lamar. And then you got Todd Monken and you got Arch Manning.
Let me rebuke that a little,
Just
Rob.
Throwing that out there.
You like Arch Manning, am I correct? You love Arch Manning.
Yeah, of course I do.
Don't put that in the universe that he ends up in the Cleveland Browns. And plus, it's the Mannings. They're not going to let him go to Cleveland. They're just not going to let it happen like they did for Eli in San Diego.
Think of the story.
I don't think they care. They want him to do a big market team. I don't think they care.
They want him big market or New Orleans. We know this.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. I don't.
If you're Arch
rest
Manning,
your hopes up on that, Cleveland, because knowing how the Manning family works, they're not gonna.
If you're Arch Manning, Dad Cooper, and famous uncles, and you have a choice, the New York Jets or the Cleveland Browns, what's your choice?
What do they say on YouTube? Unalive myself? Is that can I do that one?
What I think he would do is what Dante Moore did this year.
I'm trying to keep YouTube.
Dante Moore, because Arch will still have, after this year, Arch still technically has one more year of eligibility. So he could always say, I'm going to take $6 to $10 million to stay in Texas.
That's probably what I would do. I would stay away from that. Although maybe the Jets are going to improve with their coaching situation in Aaron Glenn, but no, I wouldn't want any part of it at all. Cleveland, oh, buddy, you're living up to your reputation. I get it. I'm a Cowboys fan. We live up to ours. It's just bad. It's just bad. I feel bad for you guys because to me, there will always be the lovable losers. That's just the way it's going to be. And things like this is going to be the reason why. This part relates over to your Super Bowl, though, Rob. The last story that we have here. First, let's look at Clint Kubiak moving over to the Las Vegas Raiders, which, by the way, I think is a good hire. He's a really good coach. Another Shanahan, Shanahan tree or those style coaches. I just think they do wonders out there, and I'm a big fan of his offense. I think the Seattle Seahawks have one of the sexiest looking offenses in the league. I just really like the way they're structured, and they look in unison, and I'm a big fan of it. So Vegas, I think, got a really good hire. But if you're the Seattle Seahawks, and this rumor mill's going out there, do you want to hear this stuff right before you're about to play in the Super Bowl?
It's the way the system's set up. Honestly, I think if the NFL was smart, it's not like college with the broken recruiting stuff. There's no reason that you have to have your head coach in place today for next year. There's absolutely none. No free agency, no nothing. There's no reason for it. The NFL, you can fire your coaches whenever, but they should pass a rule. You cannot conduct with agents or coaches or anyone. None of the hiring process starts until the day after the Super Bowl. Think about how much better that would be from a storyline perspective. Do you think John Harbaugh would be a Giant? He'd be a Buffalo Bill head coach.
Possibly.
I
don't know. He might like Jackson Dart. I don't know. He might like what he sees there, though.
If he can rein him in, yeah. I don't blame it. But you'd get that because you already like there's nothing really happening after the Super Bowl, right? After the Disney parade for the MVP. All right, now we're in a quiet period.
Mhm.
That quiet because it's not free agency, none of that's happening yet. That quiet period can get taken up by 2 weeks of coaching interviews, coaching hires, the coaching cycle. You don't need the coaching cycle at the end of the regular season. You've got the playoffs to talk about. Move the coaching stuff to right after the Super Bowl, get that going, and then you get into draft, free agency, etc.
Yeah, in the NFL that likes to be a news story all year long, why not? Why not do this? I mean, just keep the news cycle going. We'd all be heck. We'd have to do podcasts, 2 more podcasts after the NFL season, just to talk about all the hires that are going on out there.
It'd be great. It'd be so much fun.
I'm a big fan of that, Rob. You should be the commissioner after that. I think that's a really good idea. I think the reason why they hire, I think the reason why they hire all these coaches right now is just simply because they don't want the other team to go get these guys. So you got to pull the trigger fast. You got to move on quickly.
And that makes total sense. It makes sense based on what it is, but then they have adjusted the rules in recent years so that assistant coaches on playoff teams have a chance. One of the wonderful things that COVID gave us was the ability that Skype never had, which it did have, but no one used it. We all started using Zoom like, oh, we can do that. And so they do the Zoom interviews and all that.
Right.
But then it just becomes obvious when a team like the Raiders waits. I think we all thought the same thing with the Broncos as well. Like it made sense the Rams had to be done. That's when LaFleur went to Arizona. But then I think we all thought with the Cleveland Browns, they're going to pull in someone and then they brought in Monken. I guess Jim Shwartz didn't write a good enough essay. So, you know what? His margins must have been off. But, yeah, I think they should switch it up. That would make a lot more sense.
Big time. Yeah, I think they should. And if that's not a distraction enough, there's a big news ESPN article that just came out for the Seattle Seahawks. And we're going to talk about this before the preview, and then we'll talk about the actual game itself. But the Seattle Seahawks are threatening, it looks like, according to ESPN report, that the Seattle Seahawks are going to be selling their team after the Super Bowl, win or lose. It doesn't really make a difference. Simply because the NFL, after, sorry, I'm losing my mind here. After Paul Allen passed away, and that was back in like 2018, it came into the Allen Trust, family trust, to end up taking the team. And if you know anything about the Paul Allen story, I don't care what your thoughts are on billionaires or anything like that. I just think he was a really cool story on the aspect that he was from Seattle, loved Seattle, and wanted to do everything for the city of Seattle. He wanted to be the owner of the team and cared deeply about having a good NFL team and a good NFL atmosphere for people of Seattle. Love people that are connected to the city. I wish the Dallas Mavericks had something like that. I would really dream of something like that because
the Patriots do.
Yeah, very similar situation with Kraft. And you could say what you want about Jerry. You know, he's not moving the team. I don't see him doing that anytime soon. And nor do I think that's happening with Seattle. But so it went over to the Allen Trust, essentially the family. They end up have been running the team since 2018, since he passed away. And the NFL is, according to the owners' meetings, they're essentially threatening them with $5 million fines each year if the trust continues owning the team. Now, this is from an ESPN article. It's really hard to get the details of it, but they're threatening them to essentially sell that team because they don't like multiple heads being in charge of an organization. They don't want to trust it to be in charge of it, and they want to sell it off to someone else. So even though the Allen Trust...
the Green Bay Packers?
Yeah, I don't know. The NFL's, according to the ESPN article, and that's what I'm going to keep sticking to because they supposedly have some sources coming out there from them.
That argument makes no sense when you have the Green Bay Packers doing their thing. They have a seven-member committee that oversees it because they're publicly traded.
Mhm.
They're owned by the city of Green Bay, pretty much.
In fact, me and you could own them.
Yeah,
We could be part owners when it goes
let's do
public.
it. Let's move to Green Bay. No, I'm sorry, I'm a Pats fan. But then,
I'd buy
where do you
stock.
draw the line? So if it's so are the oh my goodness, why am I blanking? The Colts owners, the three sisters, they divvied it all up. Is that too many people now? Like the NFL is making no sense.
They're not making any sense at all, and the Allens are really, really good to the city. At the very least, they're very good to the Seattle, and the Seattle fan base loves them. Like they like what he did. He didn't just build, own the Seattle Seahawks. He did a bunch of other projects for Seattle. He's just a big fan of Seattle, and I think the family just wanted to carry it over. Now the family could want to sell. That is a possibility, and maybe the article is just saying, "Hey, they're forcing their hand." I don't know. It's a real. You're talking to insider world when you're talking to the NFL owners in their meetings, but it looks like they're going to sell. They said they aren't. They said they will not publicly, but I think you almost have to, right? The NFL, the ESPN story looks like they're trying to apply pressure on them to sell. Again, their offensive coordinators going over to the Vegas Raiders, and now there's this talk about your team possibly being on the market for $7 to $8 billion, by the way, which is good money for that trust fan, that Allen Trust. Is this stuff you want to hear about right before a Super Bowl?
You always get nervous about the assistant coach thing. It's not like the players will be fine. Is the assistant coach focused? Because
Right.
like in college football, it's like all their attention gets divided. That's why they leave. But in the NFL, you can't leave to the next team. So then it's like, okay. But the interview process now is done.
Mm-hmm.
So it's done. So he's a professional coach. He's got plenty of time right now to get things going. I'm sure his assistants were doing things, but also I'm sure he had people helping him get stuff set and ready for his interview process as well. Granted, that's still technically unofficial, but Clint Kubiak is going to be the next head coach of the Raiders. He probably walked in, Tom Brady flashed his rings, and he said, and then there was some slot machine noises, and next he signed. It's Vegas, right?
Right.
The Raiders, as close to a dumpster fire as they become all the time, they're still the Raiders. If you get that opportunity, you're taking it. That being said, if player-wise, it's only a problem if the players, if Sam Darnold is and JSN are clearly seeing that their top coordinator is distracted, then that can cause an effect. As far as selling the team, that doesn't have any, especially when you know that there's no way this team's leaving Seattle. And it's certainly not leaving Seattle before you get back home to celebrate, hopefully, a parade if you're a Seattle player.
Right.
Your paycheck's the same. Also, Mike McDonald just did what he did. New ownership's not going to come in and fire Mike McDonald just to hire their own person. I think that doesn't affect anything. As far as selling goes, when we've seen how much all of these organizations have started to go for now, the absurd amounts, if any pro sports owner, if you have even an inkling that you want to sell, you need to sell pretty much now or in the next few years, because we're getting closer and closer to what I think will be the point of no return, where it doesn't matter how much bloodletting you do.
Gotcha.
As far as costs, prices, etc. At some point, you're not going to make your money back. If you're buying these teams for billions and billions of dollars, it's not going to be instantly printing money again, unless your team is winning multiple championships with a Brady or any of the 30,000 players the Dodgers employ in MLB to win their titles. At some point, unless you have and that's the other thing is, if the NFL is saying there's too much decentralization in this.
Mm-hmm. Makes no sense.
You're looking to sell the Seahawks for $8 billion. There's going to be a bunch of limited partners in that.
Right there with you. I don't understand the decentral argument that article is alluding to.
Are the owners are they feeling greedy? Because I think they all get a chunk of, I think all ownership gets a chunk of money as part of like a new ownership or licensing fee or something when a new owner comes in that gets divvied out. But I might be missing, I might be confusing that with like a new franchise fee, but
Yeah, and I remember another thing that was really weird. Talk about centralized. Jeff Bezos wanted to pay for the Washington Commanders, and the NFL.
yeah.
I think the billionaires really wrapped their head around that and said, "Ooh, we don't need that much money as the owner." And they did not want Jeff Bezos to actually buy the Washington Commanders because he can money whip the hell out of them, and they knew it. So it's kind of getting to a weird spot though, because when the value is getting this high, there is 0.0001% of the population that can pay for this thing. You got to start doing bigger groups or something like that. Maybe they just want someone more in charge. And it's not like the Allen family's doing a bad job. They've just made it to the Super Bowl. They got a good coach hired. They did a great job of getting Sam Darnold. They're letting the general manager cook, and I'm not disagreeing with that, but that's good owners do that. You know,
I was going to say, you can speak from experience what you want your owner to do.
The other way. So. Yeah, where he is the general manager. Yeah. So I find it very bizarre. I'm with you, though, when it comes to distractions, at least on the Kubiak front. If you're a player, you're probably more happy for him than anything that he's got a head coaching opportunity, especially if you like him. It's up to Kubiak to avoid the distraction. It's up to him to focus on it. And I think he will. He's a professional. I think he'll do a good job at that. And on the ownership part, you know, you just got to block out the noise and head into the Super Bowl. I don't think they're too concerned about that, but you know, it's always going to be in the back of your head. Are things going to be different if I have a different owner out there? But like someone like DeMarcus Lawrence,
not this week.
He cares.
That'll be an off season. Worry. But I mean,
yeah, it's things you don't want heading to the Super Bowl, but it is what it is.
Hey,
kind of thing.
Distract. Give all the distractions to the Seahawks. Don't let them focus. No need. The Pats have enough drama with Bill and Robert Kraft not getting in. That's enough.
Yeah. Your owner's not in?
Robert Kraft got denied. Yeah, but Robert Kraft got denied today. Robert Kraft has literally doubled the stats of Jerry Jones.
Yeah, I think Jerry did a lot for the NFL, and the NFL had to pay that back because there's some weird business dealings that he had to break the mold on. So I think they're just looking at pure money. I don't think they're looking at Super Bowls. He did a lot for the league. He broke the mold and made the league tons more money off sponsorships and things like that.
I'm not as worried about the ownership thing. He'll get in at some point. I do think the NFL has a chance to do the funniest thing by getting Brady in a year early. I think Gronk's eligible next year because I think he retired a year before Brady, I think. If not, oh well. But at the very least, you could get Brady in a year early and get Bill and Kraft in. And then it's just the Patriots party all at the same time.
Yeah.
And also,
rightfully so.
All the psychos that keep saying that Bill never won without Tom Brady. Can you list me the head coaches that have won Super Bowls with multiple franchises?
Yeah. None.
Because there aren't any. There's been 7 coaches, Andy Reid most notable, that have been to the Super Bowl with 2 different franchises. And why am I specifically bringing up franchises? Because most head coaches aren't with one organization long enough to have multiple long-term starters at quarterback to make runs. They would usually have to end up at a different organization with a different starting quarterback.
Right.
Even the Niners, they went Montana to Young, but they didn't keep the head coach the same through that. So
no, Steve Mariucci ended up taking over for Young.
Haters can go cry into their cereal some more. The Patriots are the model franchise of the NFL.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the Patriots, Rob's definitely fired up, and he wants revenge against the NFL by them winning the Super Bowl out there. Let's go ahead and start our let's kickstart our preview. I'm stuck with the playoffs, so I'm just going to use that as a preview, Rob. Last time we'll hear that this year, Rob. Last time. Let's enjoy it.
It's the Super Bowl.
He is here.
And the Patriots are in it. Mike Vrabel is in it. Thank you, Amy Adams Strunk. You know, if the Patriots can win this game, I think they should send her a ring.
They should. They should go for that. That'd be funny. That'd be funny.
Oh, that'd be funny. So I don't know. Is there anything big you want to talk about at this game? Anything exciting?
Well, first on the Abram, the owner of the Tennessee Titans. Do you think that we're going to win a Super Bowl with Vrabel? I don't think they
got them to the AFC Championship.
Yeah, but like they didn't have a quarterback situation, right? Like
he got them the AFC Championship with what? Ryan Tannehill?
Yeah. So
and then they started backsliding because what happened? Not Vrabel, but ownership and management shipped out A.J. Brown.
That's right. And Derrick Henry, I believe, right? No, that was last year. Yeah.
Well, but then they only had Henry to work with, and then
down that goes. Yeah.
So it sounds to me like they didn't have a coach problem. They had a front office problem. They had an ownership problem. Sorry, Robert Saleh. I mean, they have a new GM and all that now.
And a new quarterback, Cam Ward. We'll see.
And Cam Ward, the last 7 weeks of the season, he was playing like a first-round pick. So I don't know. I don't know exactly what Saleh's doing with the offense, but hopefully there's some sort of continuity there for Cam Ward. Granted, Cam Ward is used to learning different offenses because he went from what was it, Washington State to Miami, and then now to the NFL. So he's used to doing it. But
let's see. Yeah, he had a really bad start to the year, very bad start to the year, but he ended up pulling through and looking tons better. I was so out on Cam Ward, but I also know it takes a while for players to get a little better, and it looked like his situation, he had to get a little better.
I'm not seeing off the top of my head who they've hired as the OC, if he has hired one yet, but he has hired a DC.
Well, they needed that. Boy, did they need that. They did not have that great of a defense. They didn't have anything that's good right now. They got a lot of work to do.
No, they've got a lot of holes, and they've got a lot of management issues, which is why I'm shocked Saleh chose to go there, just because they remind me a lot of the dumpster fire that is the New York Jets. But hey, I think, Vrabel could have gotten them there. He knows how to build a team. He knows how to manage a team and push buttons. He's that like fiery competitor. And I know he's technically not part of Bill Belichick's tree because he didn't coach under him. He just played under him. But remember, Vrabel was on the defensive side of things. And yes, he had Romeo Crennel as his defensive coordinator and then other defensive coordinators after that. But Bill Belichick was very closely involved with the defense. So Vrabel learned a lot from Bill.
Mm-hmm.
But then he also learned a lot from his other stops. Like he coached in Houston under Bill O'Brien. He just spent some time with Kevin Stefanski, and he's talked about some stuff that he liked that Kevin Stefanski was doing when it came to culture building and team building. And he's brought a lot of that just from his time in Cleveland last year. Thank you, Cleveland. Thank you, Kevin Stefanski, and helped. So Vrabel is that smart guy that he clearly takes, and he's constantly learning, he's constantly evolving. He doesn't just say, oh, I know what I'm doing, I'm the head coach. He's constantly trying to learn, do better, grow, do more. And now he's with this fantastic organization. One of the smartest things he could have done was, hey, old friend Josh McDaniel, what are you doing right now? Come on over to New England. Let's get this Drake May guy up and running. Did you see the clip, the superhuman clip of the conversation in the second half, in the fourth quarter, between May and Josh McDaniels?
I did not. No.
Oh, it was great. It was in the fourth quarter. There was about 6.5 minutes remaining. I know that because that's what Vrabel talked about. McDaniels. And May sitting there looking at things, and McDaniels comes over, talks to him, and May goes, it's just so hard. It's so hard out there. And McDaniels gets on his level, gets an arm around him, goes, it is hard. But if we keep doing what we need to do for 6.5 more minutes, we're going to get to where we need to go. It's not easy, but we can do it. I'm paraphrasing. But
yeah.
I think
I'm familiar
this
with
is hard. Like May was he was exhausted. He didn't know what to do. He's like, oh my goodness, this is tough. And McDaniel's just like, so we're built for this. Like, we can do this. And he pretty much was like, execute the game plan, do what we tell you to do, and we're moving on.
Mm-hmm.
So
in a game like that, he needed that too, because not much was going to happen on offense, especially with that snow and wind whipping around everywhere. He just basically needed to tell him to relax. We got it on our end. Just follow the game plan, and we should be all right. And I like that.
Yeah, that's
Rob,
the brilliance of having coaches that have been there and done that. And
it really helps the quarterbacks in those situations, especially a young quarterback. So, Rob, we got a big game up ahead. Obviously, that's the Super Bowl that we're talking about. And I'm curious on your end, we talked about it a little on the show. Do you have a game plan on what the New England Patriots, who are not favored to win this game? I'll look up the odds while you're describing it, but the what?
We don't need to be favored. 25 years ago, the Rams were favored by 14. The Rams didn't win.
And that was crazy game.
And they had Kurt Warner as their quarterback. Sam Bradford's not a Hall of Famer
on turf. Not yet, but we'll get into him in just a second. But so while I'm looking up the odds, let's break down the 3 key things, Rob, that the New England Patriots have to do to beat the Seattle Seahawks. What's the game plan?
So I've got 3-ish things here, right? The first and foremost is, so far this postseason, their defense has executed bend but don't break to practical perfection. Multiple 4th and goal stops throughout these playoffs. Sean, it's just like they're looking at it like, but there's multiple teams that are like, hey, can we get that one back? We'd still be playing if we could take that play back. And the Pats defense is like, no, situational football. We're ready for it. And this is without us having a true defensive coordinator, mind you. We do have Terrell Williams back. He's going, I don't think he's coaching, but he's traveling with the team for the first time this season. He's been declared cancer-free right now. It's so exciting. And now he's with the team. So that's going to be another huge boost. But my first and to me, the biggest key is stay close in the first half and bend a little less. Don't I'm not saying let them score more. I'm saying don't bend that much. Bend like this much and stop them. All right. Keep it. If they can keep it to within 7 points or less in the first half, we're in a really good position. And I say that because, and this is still part of point 1 for me of the 3 points. As Nick, you had to watch these playoff games with me, and you're going to watch another one with me. We keep seeing, and we've seen it throughout the season with the Patriots and some of the live streams we did as well. The Pats go in, they take all the punches in the first half, and then there's something about this coaching staff. They make adjustments and corrections at halftime And then it's like a whole different team in the second half, and it's pushing all the right buttons. So if they can keep it close, 7 points, 3 points, tie, a lead, and then correct what they struggled with, like they've been doing, and find a way to start knocking oblique Sam Bradford down, find a way to start causing chaos. If Milton Williams is part of that bend a little less, can pick up Kenneth Walker and just throw him down for no gain, they're gonna be right there. They're gonna be right there. This team has a lot of throwbacks to 25 years ago, and this defense doing what it's doing is the big one.
Yeah,
that's the big one. So
Agreed.
that's point one. Stay close, ride your defense, and then let that coaching staff make those key adjustments to get you in this game. All right. Point number two, your number one pick this year, Will Campbell, the man who has said he will go out, he will fall on a shield for this team, that he's willing to die for his team and his quarterback. Well, rookie, welcome to the Super Bowl in year one. The first two games were rough. They were rough. In the playoffs.
I would say all three. I would say all three.
He was better.
He
was better in the third game.
Yeah.
But also, the Denver defense is fantastic. And I know the Denver defense had more sacks statistically, but as far as individual player that he was going up against, that was probably his easiest assignment of the three that he had. And now he's going into Seattle, which is going to be just as tough. Like, I don't know if complain all you want about the Pats schedule. When you look at the defensive rankings for all four of the teams they've played, I'd be curious where that stacks up in playoff runs. I bet you it's pretty high up there. They're already the first team to beat three of the top five defenses. I don't know if Seattle's in the top five. If they're not, that would shock me. But then they'd be the first team to beat four if they can win. Y'all, it is Homer Hour, but if you haven't picked up on this all season, I get proud and excited for my team, but I'm 38. I'm not the young 20-something that doesn't understand loss, that has felt the last 7 years as the desperate wilderness. I grew up with Boston being a town of losers. There's a famous Boston Globe sports page talking about Loserville, and it's got Rick Pitino. It's got, I think, Mike Keenan who was the Celtics coach at the time, Mike Keenan, who was the Bruins coach at the time, Jimmy Williams, the Red Sox coach at the time, and Bill Belichick, the Patriots coach at the time, all drawn up as an illustration with "Welcome to Loserville" on it. And that was in 2000.
Yeah.
So look where we've
it changed
now.
Pretty quickly.
It changed quickly, but I understand that you can't take it for granted. So I'm not going to call my shot before it happens. I'm going to say one play at a time all the way through. But Will Campbell has to figure out a way, because they nearly lost that Denver game because Drake May was trying so hard not to make a mistake. You could see the steam coming out of his head as the gears were turning like crazy in the first half, and he almost paralyzed himself to the point where he couldn't make a play because he was trying not to screw up. Will Campbell has to take that pressure off by not letting his quarterback get hit. All right. Or giving him just enough time to step up in the pocket and make the throw. Because the snow's not bailing you out in San Francisco. It's not.
Not this time.
So
could
he
be
has to. It could be. Or earthquaking. They've had several earthquakes, but it is California. What was it, back in the early 90s? The World Series famously got interrupted in Oakland by a big earthquake. So these things can happen.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
It'd either be right as the Seahawks were about to score and somehow it caused a fumble and then the NFL's fixed for the Patriots, or it'll be flipped and it'll be a bunch of New England fans saying, look at the NFL screwing us again because of, nature.
Yeah, right? That'd be interesting.
Yeah, so Will Campbell, that's key 2. And then key 3. So every Patriots Super Bowl outside of back in the 80s before we were born, and the Bears destroyed them. Every Patriots Super Bowl has been exciting. It's been entertaining. There's been key plays on one side or the other. Even back in the Drew Bledsoe Bowl against the Packers, Desmond Howard had his kick return. That was that big, exciting game. That was the game-changing play that kept a very tight game and broke it open.
I got one exception. It's the Kansas City Chiefs against the New England Patriots. That 13-3. I know you loved it.
I know you mean the Rams. You mean the Rams.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. The Rams. Jeez, that one. Not my favorite, but for the most part,
boring because of the score. Boring because of the score, but that's the biggest blowout the Pats have ever had in a Super Bowl win. 10 points.
It's always been close.
That's barely two possessions. And even that one, it was so close that the biggest play of that game was that exciting Rob Gronkowski catch. But, you look at them and look at all the Pat Super Bowls. There's a big key play. There's that first Super Bowl, that game-changing interception on Kurt Warner, the pick six, when Warner's like, what the F just happened there? Thank you to Bucky Jones. You've got, and then the second Super Bowl had tons of them. It went from a defensive struggle in the first half to like defenses weren't playing in the second half to touchdown on both sides before finally there was the key turnover. And then Vinatieri makes another technically game-winning kick. All right. And then you look at fast forward, because I'm going on long and pontificating now. You've got those two awful Super Bowls. You got the David Tyree and Mario Manningham in the second one with their two insane catches. And then you've got the last Seattle Seahawks game. Pass.
Yeah.
And the last one 11 years ago with the Seattle Seahawks.
Butler.
Before we had that Malcolm Butler interception, just a couple plays earlier, every single Patriots fan was throwing up because after we had the Manningham and the Tyree, Malcolm Butler played perfect defense, knocked the ball away, but somehow it spun and landed on, was it Curses? I think it was Curse that caught the ball for Seattle for that catch. I could be wrong, but Butler was mostly on Curse that game. He makes that catch, and it's like, oh, my God, another one. We're going down like this again. And then a few plays later, and, people say, why didn't you run it with Marshawn Lynch? They forget, just a couple plays earlier, Marshawn Lynch kept getting stuffed by that Patriots defense. And then Bill Belichick, not worthy of the Hall of Fame Bill Belichick, looks over at the sideline. And he's talked about this in interviews. He saw the chaos and the craziness moving, like the coaches were out of sorts because everyone else would call the timeout. Belichick relied on his vets. He didn't call the timeout. And Malcolm Butler's in there on the sub package. And Butler had already, had he played the full game, it might not have been that close. Because he subbed in the second half when there was, I forget who that defender was they took out. He just couldn't keep up with Curse. So they put Butler in because Butler was better at man. He was better at playing man. They needed to play man. And then that play where he got the pick, they practiced that in practice all the 2 weeks leading up to it because the coaching staff picked up that was a play that the Seahawks like to run down near the goal line. Butler got beat every single time in practice.
Except that time.
He gave up the touchdown every time in practice. He got them all out of the way.
Stop. It's a quick slam.
All out of the way.
Not easy.
Well, and then you got to rely, the pick's got to be just right. Brandon Browner got the pick just right. Butler gets in, but even then, most players aren't going for the pick. They're just trying to swat it down, which would have given the Seahawks another play.
Yeah.
He made the pick and ended the game.
Yeah.
If the Seahawks get another play, they're probably getting in the end zone.
Yeah, and it was up to Russell Wilson to make a good decision there, and Russell Wilson did not make a good decision there. I think you should have known that your slant was out, but
exactly. And had the receiver, instead of going in, had the receiver gone out, it would have been a wide open touchdown.
Yeah.
But the receiver broke in and said out. Because Butler was essentially like a soccer goalie making a penalty kick there. He had to pick a direction.
And he chose the slant.
He chose right. So,
Yeah.
and then the 28-3 game, you could look at all sorts of stuff. But if we want to talk about another offensive crazy catch, the Julian Edelman. So we know we're going to get a great game. We know there's going to be at least one, if not two, game-changing plays. The Pats have to be able to capitalize on that. And the two players I have circled for that, I think if I asked you, you'd tell me who they both were. Number one, Captain Marcus Jones.
Of course.
Whether it's going to be a kick return, whether it's going to be an interception, right? Something, maybe it's going to be a game-changing cornerback blitz, and he's going to pop Bradford and knock the ball loose. Or Travion Henderson.
I like that one.
Boom. So keep it close. Will Campbell step up? Let's get that game-changing play, because this is going to be a one-score game. It just is. If the Pats are going to win, it's going to be a one-score game. If the Pats lose, it could look a lot like Seattle-Denver from a few years back, 12 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So good little breakdown. You want Henderson to step up. You want and Marcus Jones, of course, out there. You got the keep it close, so you have a chance for a second strike. You need a big key play to happen, and the New England Patriots can win it. And by the way, I mean, I was going to tell you the odds. So right now Vegas has them at 4.5 to the Seattle Seahawks. 4.5 to the Seattle Seahawks. So
I'm surprised it's not bigger, because Drake May is technically questionable with an injury to his throwing shoulder.
Yeah, a little strange right there too. And
we're putting
we
good
could be playing
thoughts
coy
out there. We're putting good thoughts out there.
Coaches like to play coy too. I mean, look at Sam Darnold out there. I mean, do you think he's got an oblique problem? I don't think he does. It doesn't seem like he does, but
either that or the pain meds are working real good, because I watched Quinn Ewers play with an oblique and be practically non-functional.
It's not good. It's hard to play it in that position over there. So those are the keys for the New England Patriots to win this game. I've got the keys for the Seattle Seahawks, Rob, what they need to do to end up getting the win over here.
Let's hear it.
And you might want to send this over to Vrabel, okay, in case he doesn't see it. I'm sure he does, but
I'm sure he's a subscriber. He's a subscriber. He'll see this.
He should be. I broke it down a little. So the biggest thing that the Seattle Seahawks need to do, you mentioned Henderson, and that's my number one going into it. They've got to stop the run. They've got to stop the run, which has been incredibly difficult for any team against New England Patriots. New England Patriots end up doing over 25 attempts all their games except for 4. Now, when they get underneath those 25 attempts, you got to look at Drake May. All of a sudden, the reliance turns on to Drake May to go ahead and win the game. Drake May is still good, by the way. His stats actually didn't look that bad. But when the overall season, he's got a quarterback rating of 113. Okay. Possibly MVP level, Rob. I think you're going to make that argument over there that he should be the MVP.
Stafford is allowed to win it just when you look at his stats. But then you say, of course he had those stats. He had Puka. Okay, I'm taking away your time. Go ahead.
No, you're okay. No, I get the argument, though. He doesn't have the wide receivers that Stafford has over there. And then when I was looking at these stats, I was agreeing with you, Rob. I was like, man, these are some really good stats. So when the New England Patriots don't have over 25 carries in a game, his quarterback rating drops to 86.5. All of a sudden, still good, still solid. So that just shows you how good of a quarterback he is, but it drops tremendously and gives the Seattle Seahawks a chance to stop that offense.
And I do believe a perfect quarterback rating is like 153 point something.
Yeah. In 86, in the modern NFL, I probably wouldn't want my star quarterback to average 86 these days, but still 86 is decent. If you're telling me the quarterback doesn't have the run and he's still getting 86.5 on his rating, that tells me he's a pretty good quarterback. So that's the one thing I got out of this. I know the playoffs don't really seem to be showing Drake May that much justice. I think he's got a lot of snow games. He's playing against great defenses. This isn't easy, what he's going through, and I think he's just, just going through the weather and things like that. But the weather's going to be fine. And yeah, you're going to play against a better defense or another good defense, but I think you'll be able to perform a little bit better as long as that injury is fine. That's going to be the key. So, number one, stop the run. Number one thing that the Seattle Seahawks need to do to even give them a chance, okay? If you stop the run, stop Henderson, stop Stevenson, they should have a good shot at winning the game because the offense does rely heavily on run attempts, and they need to get over 28. The number two thing that I saw was that on the offensive side, something that they've been doing a really good job at, especially with Kubiak's offense, is a balanced offense. Okay, Sam Darnold runs real well on a balanced offense. So not only do they need to stop the run, they need to end up running the ball well. The Patriots are right now 6th ranked in stopping the run. Okay, and a lot of people hear that stat and they go, "Good, right?"
It relies
Rob
on a
knows.
healthy Milton Williams.
But they're inconsistent. Like the outliers are huge outliers. When you do run the ball well against the New England Patriots, you run the ball really, really well. You end up getting a lot of yards on them. When they stop it, they stop it. They're best in the league, and no one can get past them, okay? But if you can run the ball against it with Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet, you have a good opportunity at winning this game. So balanced
and those are the style of running backs that can get this Pats defense. And whereas Drake May is questionable, but we're all pretty sure he's fine, Robert Spillane is questionable on the other end of things. He's the play caller, heart and soul of the Pats defense with an ankle, and it's not looking that good. It's not looking like if he is playing, he's not going to be at 100%.
I mean, when he got off the field in the Denver Broncos game,
and he didn't get back on.
I went ahead and counted him out for the Super Bowl. Now, there's things that the NFL can do. Boy, especially a game like this, they're probably going to inject him with whatever stuff that's going to shorten his life expectancy.
Let's go.
yeah, not good stuff. I don't think it's good for him, but whatever. I'm not going to question things. But they're going to try to get him onto the league, get him onto the game. So I think they're going to do their best, especially because I know they've got to stop the run on that end. Because if you run the ball against the New England Patriots, then all of a sudden this whole thing goes into shambles. Generally speaking, it's just a nice balanced run, stops a pass rush, and their pass rush is very inconsistent. They're fine when you have to all guns a-blazing. I mean, I even say it when I said it during the Texans game and the Denver Broncos game. Like when you're watching the New England Patriots and you realize that they're up by a couple scores, it's church. It is game, because what they do is they just pin their ears back, attack the quarterback. And a guy like Sam Darnold, who is somewhat mobile, but not the most mobile, someone like him could actually fall victim to the New England Patriots pass rush. But if you're able to run the ball, have a balanced offense, hit them with play action, they're big on play action, hit them with motion, little things that buy your quarterback just a little bit of a time, the Seahawks should be fine. They should be able to attack this defense. And which brings me to my last thing. And this one's just very simple.
Sam Darnold, when he's not getting pressured, he can pick off a defense that's sitting in zone. And it seems like, from what we've been seeing, the Pats secondary loves to be in zone because they can go for the home run play that way.
Yeah.
Problem is, if you don't get the home run, sometimes you strike out.
Which brings me to my last point. JSN, Cooper Kupp, you've got to beat who's ever in front of you. You just got to beat them. And if it's zone, you find the gaps. And if it's man-to-man, you just straight up beat them. And I would caution the New England Patriots from running too much man-to-man against this team, because JSN and Cooper Kupp, an older Cooper Kupp, but a Cooper Kupp.
But still, he can cut, he can run routes. He
can run routes, and they're deadly. I think this is JSN. I mean, I don't even think, second time I said that. I don't even think, I know JSN's by far the greatest wide receiver that the New England Patriots have played against in the playoffs. Nobody's been better. You're talking 1 and 2. You're talking Puka Nacua and JSN, and you just happen to draw JSN. It was going to be tough either way, but you haven't played it.
I would, if I had to pick against those two, I'd pick JSN just because Nacua is so lights out, and as we've seen with his brother, there's a hint of rage in there somewhere, and you don't want to draw that out.
No, you don't. And I think Puka's a really good student of the game, but JSN's fit into this offense, and he is turning into fantasy-wise, I think he was number 1 or number 2 in the league. So this guy's different. This guy's going to be really tough. Now, they got Ryan Gonzalez, who can possibly cover him, and then Rob, help me out. Who's the other guy on the...
You're talking Christian Gonzalez. Christian Gonzalez and Landry. Harold Landry.
I'm sorry, Christian Gonzalez and Landry. Okay,
it's not your team. It's okay. You get the last name.
Yeah, on. I just know Gonzalez. I know Gonzalez. You got to beat those guys. You got to beat them straight up. You're the better player. You're the veteran.
And then,
sorry,
Landry's the running back.
And Landry's the running back.
Sorry, Landry's the linebacker, and then so I'm thinking Carlton Davis was who I'm thinking.
Carlton Davis. I as soon as you said the name, I knew I figured it out because I've been watching a lot of Patriots thanks to you. Ryan.
I flipped Landry and Davis in my head. Carlton Davis. Davis has had an amazing playoffs because teams keep throwing at him over Gonzalez, and then like we saw we did in Houston, he just kept getting picks. Well, against Houston in Foxborough.
Right. And this is going to be a tough matchup for those two. You're talking some really good wide receivers, the best little duo that they've faced in the playoffs by far. So, it's going to be a tough matchup for them. I don't think this thing is easy at all for the Seattle Seahawks. I wouldn't consider it an easy game at all. Obviously, it's the Super Bowl, so whoever makes it is going to be good. But if you're putting all your money on the Seattle Seahawks to win by 4.5, I'd watch that. I keep an eye on that because I don't think this is going to be that simple. This is a tough defense. I've been watching them all year long, thanks to Rob, and I've learned I don't want to be on the other side of them. They're really good. And especially in the playoffs, they've stepped it up and did really well. Now, this is going to be the toughest offense I think they've faced all year in the playoffs. All throughout the playoffs, and especially in a nice, clean environment. Even if it's raining, 45-degree and rain is nothing compared to what they had in Denver.
This might be the toughest offense the Pats have played all year.
Very well could. The NFC, that's
Bills?
where the offenses are. Yeah, the Bills.
Right.
I would say the Bills.
But this offense is better than the Bills. This offense is better than the Bills.
I think so. Yeah. 1A, 1B. They've got their flaws.
Say, without looking at the numbers, I would say this is the deadliest offense they've had to play against.
It's going to be tough in the playoffs. But either way, this is going to be a good game. That's what I'm predicting out of this, especially with Vrabel. I think he's going to match up well against him. So those are my 3 points. If the Seahawks want to win this thing, I think you got to do the opposite of what Rob just said. You need to score early and you need to get an early lead so you can pin your ears back and go after Drake May. And that's the only way, not the only way, but that should be the game plan heading into it. Try to get an early lead, have a nice balanced offense, and then force the Patriots to not have that balanced offense and pin your ears back and go after Drake May. That would be the game plan. Will it work?
Makes sense.
I don't know. Vrabel, if you hear this
until Sunday,
you hear this, who you got to shut down, but it's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy against those guys, and he knows that. So we'll see how they pan out. It's going to be a hell of a game for sure.
I'm so excited. We got only one thing left to do now, Nick.
We got to make picks. And I sadly shut that out. I don't know why I did. I just shut that down. Rob, go ahead and make your pick heading into the game while I pull this up.
Sure. I think everyone's going to be shocked. Like I said, the regular season, you all saw me pick against the Pats plenty. It wasn't because I was a doubter. It's because I was a realist. This is a young team. Preseason, we played the schedule game. I think we had them around 11, 12 wins. We're like, holy crap, how do we do that? Crap, they might win more. And then they did, except for those pesky Raiders. They did. But we got to remember, Pats fans, yes, we can dance up and down. We can stomp on the hearts of all the other NFL franchises, included in Kansas City and the Mahomesians, and say, ha, 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 our franchise is better overall. We are. We know that. We're the best franchise of the last 25 years. With this Super Bowl appearance, New England will have participated in 20% of all Super Bowls played. That's the most. That's impressive, especially when you factor in that before the year 2001, they'd appeared in 2 and lost both of them. So we're happy, we're excited, but Pats fans, we got to be realistic. Am I picking the Patriots to win? Of course I am. Could they lose this game? There's a reason why they're not favored, all right? But we weren't favored back 25 years ago, and it's the Rams, and we found a way to do it with better coaching. Mike McDonald has had a fantastic year they found a great head coach. I think Mike Vrabel's a better coach. I think Josh McDaniels is the best offensive coordinator. The X factor is going to be the Pats defense in this game. The Pats defense will decide this game one way or another. We've got a real young guy calling plays, right? Because Terrell Williams has been out all year. Let me get his name right. I'm going to mispronounce his name. So I want to Google it real quick and give him his credit. And he will be, if he doesn't end up just becoming like the Pats TC next year, he's going to get a DC job in the next cycle. His name's Zach Kerr, Kuhr. He's the Pats linebackers coach. The linebackers have been damn good, and he's been the play caller all year long. It has not been Vrabel that's been calling the defensive plays. It's been Zach Kerr. And Zach Kerr, my goodness, you scare me and give me heart attacks, and you cause me to yell a lot. Nick can vouch for this because your defense goes for broke all the time, and it doesn't always work. But you know what? We're here. We're in the freaking Super Bowl. We're going to win it. We're going to get number 7. And there's going to be a lot of really annoying, terribly obnoxious, young New England sports fans. Just remember, I'm not one of those. I'm a realist. I've seen both sides of things. But this one, if we can win this one, I'm going to cherish this one. It's going to be right up there with the first win, and then it's going to be right up there with the 6th win as 2 of my biggest ones. Like the first one, when we didn't think we could do it, and then we did. All right, with a game manager in Tom Brady. Drake May's more than a game manager. Brady became much more. But back then, all of you short-sighted people, I've gotten in some heated arguments, especially with some leading sports personalities in the Austin area, where they're like, you guys always had Brady. Brady's always been Brady. It's like, no, you're looking at this from a national perspective, and you don't remember 25 years ago. Brady wasn't always Brady. He wasn't. Brady became Brady that we know of in that 2007 year, the perfect season that almost was. That's when the modern Brady evolved. Before that, he was a game manager.
I would make the argument that his first 3 Super Bowls were just game managing Super Bowls, right? Like, not bad. And I'm not shaming Brady. I always loved Brady because of it, because he knew how to game manage real well. But he didn't become who he was until later. I mean, he had to rely heavily on the run and his defense.
He had Corey Dillon. He didn't have Corey Dillon in year 1. He had the cast of misfit toys for the first Super Bowl. But then he got Corey Dillon, and that defense should make the Hall of Fame altogether. That defense for Super Bowls 2 and 3, oh my goodness. So probably the best defense of all time when you look at what they did, how they did, the sustained excellence. I know we all talk about the Ravens from just a few years prior to that, but you look at what that Pats defense did over 2 years and then 3 out of 4 overall. But that first one, they really weren't what they were now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So yes, my pick is the Pats. But if they lose by 70 or something, you're not going to see me on here next week throwing a fit. It's a great season. We're building towards even better. So if we can win while we're not supposed to, imagine what this team's going to do when they're supposed to do good. And if you're a free agent right now, how much would you want to go play for Mike Vrabel and Drake and with Drake May? Come
good.
on. Let's go.
So you're picking the
If I had to
Patriots.
If I had to, it's the Super Bowl. It's a Pats Super Bowl. It's looking like a 24-17, 24-21 kind of game to me.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that'd be nice, especially for the Patriots playoff run. I don't know if I'm coming in and out, but because during the playoff run, it's just been all defense and not much offense right now. So I would love that kind of score out there. By the way, I got the picks up here, Rob. If it's showing, there you go. That kind of gives us a little overview of it, but this is where we're at right now. So for the podcast, friends of the pod, picks, total points, because each level gets more points. Conference title ended up getting 3. Ryan and Rob ended up losing the lead, and they are down to Deshaun, who picked the 2 correct conference championship winners, and he ended up taking the 1-point lead over there. Now, I don't know what Deshaun's picking. We'll get the details on that shortly. And I'll just post
I
on
can't
Twitter
win.
Or something.
We know that. I can't win our pick 'em.
Yeah, you're in a weird spot, aren't you?
Well, yeah. So
you
of course
can't.
I'm picking the Pats. Ryan's a point ahead of me. He's also picking the Pats. So I can't win. The best I can do is come in second. But that's fine.
Yeah, and that's I'm not doing it just for points. Honestly, I don't really care too much about it because I can't win anything either. Not that this was for anything. It was just more goofing.
It's pride. Pride.
Deshaun's got the pride on the line over there.
His teams had a hard time this year, so that's okay. Unless you pick Seattle. But if he's smart, he can just wrap this whole thing up and pick the Patriots.
Then I could tie him. You could
tie him.
Yeah. Well, it depends. Yeah, it depends. So I got good news for you, Patriot fans. All right, all you guys out there. I picked against them with Houston. I picked against them with Denver. That one was a little goofy, but I did do it. I said Denver's going to end up
both reasonable
winning.
Both reasonable. All of NFL Live picked Houston. The whole cast of NFL Live.
And the Houston for sure. Yeah, no, the Houston one was a for sure pick. Denver was more point strategy, so I can get my little pride points that Deshaun's in a good position to getting. So I was just trying to get back into it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I got good news for you guys. I'm picking Seattle. To win this game. The reason why I'm going with Seattle.
Everybody, fade Nick.
Fade me. I think you guys are in really good shape. I think I'm going to get you guys squared away. My logic, that's all I got with these kind of teams when my team's not in it. I'm just using pure logic at this point. And I just think the Seattle Seahawks are just matched up really well against the New England Patriots. I think they do a good job stopping the run. I love their offense. I love the way it's structured out there. A little concerned about Sam Darnold's first Super Bowl. But hey, if he ends up winning it, it wouldn't shock me at all. He's had a really good postseason out there, so that wouldn't surprise me. The more I think about it is if the Patriots end up getting a big lead in this game, I could see the Seattle Seahawks coming back. I think if the Seattle Seahawks end up getting a big lead, I don't see New England coming back. I just don't. Not against the Seattle Seahawks defense.
They're not built for that, for sure. But the other thing I want to point out, all time, the New England Patriots in Super Bowls. They're 1-3 against NFC East teams. 1-3. Against NFC North teams, they're 0-2. The Seahawks play in the West. the Patriots are 3-0 all time against NFC North teams.
And if the Patriots end up winning it,
And then
would
2-0 against the South, for those that are wondering.
In fact, I would recommend everyone to go ahead and bet that the New England Patriots are going to be able to cover the spread. I don't think this game is going to be close or like a blowout at all. I don't see a Seattle Seahawks Broncos situation out there. But if you had to put a gun to my head and say which team's going to win it, I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks. The only way I could see the New England Patriots pulling it off is Drake May's got to be Drake May, what he is in the regular season. And he, granted, because of weather and all these good defenses, hasn't done it in the postseason. He's got no choice this game. He's got no choice this one. I think he's got to step up and get him over the top. He could do it. I'm a big Drake May fan, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if he ends up pulling that off. But that is, in my mind, the only way that the New England Patriots can win this game. It's got to be through Drake May pulling this off and getting the win. I'm going to pick Seattle. I'm betting against Drake May, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout at all. And good for the Jinx world out there for you guys. So, because I've been
Thank you, sir.
so bad during the playoffs. So bad. I've been so wrong on everything. So if I'm wrong again, put that on my ledger as another one that I got wrong. But I'm going Seattle on this one.
Yeah, dude, I'm hoping that when our pod comes out next week, when we're chatting, I'm not spending a bunch of time talking about all the different food we had to eat and what funny commercials there were that on. I'm hoping I'm like, food? I didn't need any food. Commercials? I wasn't focused on. I was like, I'm hoping I'm going to be like, hopefully there's going to be some like B-roll footage of Nick capturing me jumping up and down and crying in joy. Or it could be the opposite. It could be the opposite, right? So,
Crying
either way, this is going to be an exciting game. Fans, we are not live streaming the Super Bowl.
No.
This is one I want to be able to focus on the game. And when we live stream, even when we're live streaming, you're like, you're not just focused on the game when you live stream. You're making sure, are we hitting certain points? You're making sure, are we getting everyone in that needs to get in? Are we interacting? Like, I want to be like Nick see me when I'm focused on a game. We talk during commercials, and otherwise I'm yelling at the TV. So that's what's going to be happening during the Super Bowl. Also, we expect most of y'all have Super Bowl parties, Super Bowl plans, etc. And we're not there yet for y'all. Maybe next year we will be, but we're not quite there yet with the Nick and Rob Homer Hour this year. We will be releasing a pregame show, probably about 30 to 45 minutes long, depending on how much I rant and rave about how wonderful the Patriots are. That will be available to y'all, but no live. The next time we do a live stream, it's going to be a UFL game, most likely.
Which is what I'm excited about, because when we go back to the UFL football, that's all I've got my eyes targeted on that. There's plenty to talk about with the UFL, and UFL fans, we are coming back. And we're going to be talking UFL for sure.
Yep.
A lot of changes going into it, Rob. Your team's not even in it anymore, so.
No, my team's now the Dallas team.
Sweet.
We're combining our forces.
Luis Perez, man.
And they're doing things. There's going to be weeknight games. A lot of this stuff, I want to know, is Mike Repoli, is he a Nick and Rob Homer Hour subscriber? Is he a day one OG subscriber? Because a lot of the stuff that me and you kept harping on last year that the league really needed to do, he's doing.
Yeah. Well, I think he's a smart marketer, and he's not as focused on football. The football product we've talked about, though, is good. You don't need
He knows
to
how to
do
make
much.
money. He knows how to make money.
Just focus on the marketing, because thanks to the previous owners and all that, they did a good job of making sure that the product is good. The product is good.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of marketing at this point, and it's that next step. So they need to go get a marketer.
Side note, I learned who he was. Netflix has a sort of Hard Knocks, sort of PGA Tour, F1 kind of behind the scenes all access show. regarding oh my goodness, I'm about to blank on it. Regarding polo, and he's a featured player, and he's a featured player in that. And I actually watched it all. I don't know anything about polo. It was highly entertaining. So at some point, I'm gonna get you to watch it all, and then we're gonna talk about it, because it shows you who he is as a strategist, as a businessman, as a competitor, and it's gonna relate directly to his UFL stuff.
Yeah, love it. Love it. I'm a big fan of it too, and hope, maybe we can even get him on. I don't know.
Let's do it.
That's a long shot, but that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, so we got UFL more after the Super Bowl. We're probably going to take a couple week break or something like that, just to make our wives happy, or future wives.
We'll probably end up releasing. We'll have our fandom, NFL fandom episode that'll come out. We'll have a UFL preview that'll come out, and then we'll get into the UFL season.
Yeah, something like that will be produced out there. We'll keep content going. So, Rob, for that content, where can they find us?
So, if you're looking at our beautiful faces right now, my wonderfully stained Red Sox hat, you found us on YouTube. Good job. Now, if you found us on YouTube, but you haven't hit the like button, you haven't hit the subscribe button, please go ahead and do that. And then go ahead and hit that share button and send it to a friend. Whether you're like, hey, this was a lot of fun, this was great, or oh my goodness, these guys are dumbasses. Send it to a friend. Let them see it too. We love it. We love all views coming to us. All right. You can also find us on X, Nick and Rob Homer. Just search Nick and Rob Homer Hour. Same with Instagram. Search Nick and Rob Homer Hour. And brand new this week, Nick. I don't know if I told you this yet, but brand new this week. If you are on Blue Sky, search Nick and Rob Homer Hour. I believe our official Blue Sky name, I want to make sure I get this right. It's Nick and Rob Homer Hour, or at N&R Homer Hour.
Sweet.
Search us, like us, be one of the followers on the ground floor. We have our weekly pod. It comes out Tuesday night. We record Tuesday night. Nick does his magical editing powers, and then it gets released at some point, either for you to fall asleep with Tuesday night. We've heard a lot of our fans love to fall asleep to our voices, or it's a great thing to listen to Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then, of course, Nick and Rob Homer Hour on TikTok. We release our shorts there. I reshare a lot of the shorts on X and on Blue Sky as well.
Yeah, and if you could sleep past my squeaky high voice that kicks in every once in a while, you need to be a sleep therapist, because that is impressive. That is impressive. But yeah, so yeah, we'll be around. We'll definitely see you guys next week. And until then, we'll see you next time. Please like and follow. You got to end it with a go Pats, Rob.
Go Pats. Or if those of you that follow Katie Nolan and the Casuals, go Pates.
No. What?
Okay.
We'll talk about
the thing. I'll explain.
Okay. All right. We'll see you guys next time.